The new event U5 is here. Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are taking a look at the Under 5 event, which is the event focused on level 5 and lower monsters. And rank. That's very important, because so many people are playing this as if it is just the XZ event. Which is very boring. This is just another XZ event. I hope you really like XZ events, because this is just another XZ event. Here's the problem. There's not really a lot of boss monsters, or really anything to do, outside of XZs in this event. Like, what fusion monster are you going to go into? What synchro monster plays anything under level 5? There's so few options available to you. Pretty much the only thing playable is XZs, which means that goblins are even more prevalent than they were previously. And gosh, I hate goblins. Goblins are very frustrating, especially if you're playing an XZ deck as well, which makes it even more frustrating. So, I've come up with a solution. And the solution is, what if I played Crystron? Now, hear me out. I'm insane. But, you all knew this. So, I have a deck of Crystron control, basically. The idea behind this is very simple. I'm gonna make my opponent's life hell. You know how Paleo plays? That's what we're doing, baby. We're just playing for the long haul. Because honestly, there's not really a win condition here. Or more specifically, there's not really a boss monster that we can go into consistently that allows us to actually, like, push for a lot of damage or, like, really threaten anything. The overall goal is to cycle with Cluster and just use Cluster over and 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 over. You get the idea. Until eventually we inevitably win the game via the advantage that Cluster generates us, and by the fact that, like, we can just consistently put up bodies. Now, how are we accomplishing this? What is the overall goal? The goal is Amatrix. If you've never read this card, you didn't play Duel Links. Way back in the day. To be fair, that was like several years ago. I would not blame you if you hadn't played Duel Links up until that point. But basically, this card says, if this card is synchro summoned, you can change all face-up special summon monsters your opponent controls to defense position. That's it. That's all you need to know about this card. This is how we're winning these games. Do you want to know why? Because switching a monster to defense position is how you not die. And then you just, over the course of several turns, destroy their field. And that's it. There's not really a whole lot more that this deck can functionally do. There's a few things here or there, but mostly it is put everything to defense position when the opponent goes to combat via things like Citri and Tristaros, and then pop them with Cluster. Also, Cluster gets the ability to pop 2 cards because you control a Crystron Synchro if you go for the Amatrix, which is pretty cool. So now we can deal with their board more efficiently. That's more or less it. We're also playing things like hand traps such as Imperm, Ash, Impulse, and Droplet. Droplet's not a hand trap, but we're playing cards like that to help us control the duel more effectively, but for the most part, it is Cluster control, and that's what we're doing. So we're going to quickly go through the card by card. As previously mentioned, Ash, Imperm, Impulse, hand traps, and then the 3 Droplet, as well as additional ways to help slow down and control the duel. Pretty simple. As for the rest of the cards, it is a lot of Crystrons. We're playing 3 different tuners. We are playing the 1 Quan in order to special summon from hand, as well as allow us to go into other such levels. It's kind of okay. It's not great. We're only playing the 1. We're playing 2 Citri. We cycle this one a bunch if we need to, but for the most part, this is the main piece that we need because it most effectively goes into the Amatrix during the combat phase, which means that we can, like, more easily switch everything sideways. And then, of course, the 3 Tristaros. Tristaros is still crazy in this because it not only allows us to kind of punish our opponent if they do a thing, it also allows us to go into Amatrix and allows us to pop said Amatrix for additional advantage, to put additional guys into our field to block, which is also pretty cool. That's it for the tuners. We're also playing a bunch of other guys that you normally wouldn't see in Crystron or in, like, standard Crystron lists. We're playing 2 Parasortal, which special summons from hand by banishing it from Grave, and is a level 2. That's it. That's all you need to know. It's a level 2. We're also playing 3 Smiter and 2 Thistfern. These should be pretty familiar to you. We're playing 2 Rosenix, which banishes itself to special summon a level 1 token. This comes up occasionally. It's a 4. That's it. We are playing 3 Sulfenir. I know, crazy. Why are we playing 3 of this? Simply put, this is one of our best starters. It discards a card in order to special summon itself from hand and then pop itself. And then from there, you could special summon a guy from deck, which is also very powerful. And on top of that, it is a repeatable interaction, or not interaction, it is a repeatable body. So every turn, you can just like pitch a guy in order to special summon him, just special summon a guy from deck, which is very powerful, especially in a slower paced game like this. So there's that. We're also playing 3 Solfador. It's still very strong. Special summons itself, sends cards, incredibly powerful. We're also playing 3 Inclusion, pretty standard. Search a card, reborn a guy, very, very solid. On top of that, if a Crystron monster would be destroyed by battle each turn, the first time it would be destroyed, it's not. So that's cool, I guess. It doesn't matter. We're also playing 1 apiece of Entry and Impact. If you don't know these cards, don't worry, they're not very good. Mostly they're used for their graveyard effects, which is Entry has the effect where during either player's turn you can banish it, during either player's turn except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to target a Crystron monster you control, to send a Crystron monster from your deck or grave whose level is different from that monster, to change that monster's level to the monster sent, which basically means dump a card from your deck to the grave. That's it. That's the whole purpose. You just dump a guy. So, if, for example, you have a Solfador on field, you could dump a Smiger. If you have a Smiger on field, you could dump a Rosenix. You could send a, if you have Citri, you could send a Solfaneer, etc. It's basically just send a guy to the graveyard. It's okay. And then we have Impact, which is target protection. That's it. And then, of course, we're playing 2 Cluster. And that is it for the main deck. Nice 40 even cards. And Cluster, notably, can shuffle back a whole bunch of guys, which is very useful because... yeah, that's how you get, like, resources back into rotation. Most notably, Citri. Being able to put back Citri is very nice. As for the extra deck, the only cards that matter are Amatrix, which we've already talked about, Vespinato, which is a rank 5 that you can go into that is, like, okay. And that's kind of it. Those are kind of the only cards that really matter. Yes, we are also playing 3 Quandrax, which is a card that does exist and is also not very good. Realistically, I didn't really have anything else to put in here. If I could, I'd play like 17 Amatrix and just Amatrix, and it would just be Amatrix all over the place. But alas, I can only play 3. So there's that. Like, legitimately, I think I would play... I would cut probably everything except for maybe Armory Arm, maybe a Cataster, and like a Vespinato, and then like everything else would just be Amatrix. It really is just that simple. Amatrix is by far the best option here, so the rest of these cards don't really matter. Let's hop into the replay and show you how this deck performs. Alright, here we are going second, and this whole thing, this whole game is going to show you everything that I don't like about this game. Or about this event, I should say. My opponent is going to go and start off with Mimighoul. Mimighoul is ever present in this, and it's very frustrating because it's a very annoying deck to play against. Because it just is. And you're going to see why in a second. The opponent is going to go into their Giant Mimighoul. Giant Mimighoul is going to activate the effect in order to grab up Maker. Maker effect is going to activate, and they are going to special summon out 1 card, which happens to be Dragon, which is actually pretty good for them, because it allows them to go for the Archfiend, which is going to flip up the Dragon. Dragon effect is going to grab, or switch sides. They're going to go Throne. Throne is going to then special summon out the Master. Master effect is going to activate, grab up Slime, and then they are going to special summon the Slime to our side of the field, and then go into Utopic Draco Future. Woo. I hate this card. I hate this card. This card is very frustrating. Notably, it says cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. That's all. I'm going to start off here with the Droplet because we did draw Smiter, which is very nice. So we're going to normal summon the Smiter, and we're going to crash. And then we are going to go to main phase 2 to activate the Smiter. Smiter effect is going to grab Inclusion, and we are off to the races. Inclusion is going to grab the Solfador. Solfador effect is going to activate. We're going to pop the Inclusion. We're going to special summon the Solfador, and that... Imperm. Imperm. No, that's okay. We should be fine because now we have Cluster at the very least. We have Cluster and it's online, and that's mostly all that we are doing. We're going to pop the dungeon here. We're going to shuffle back the Smiger in order to pop it, and then they are going to go to combat, except for the fact that they are going to start off with the Goblins. This is the other thing that I despise about this event. Every deck feels like they're playing some sort of Goblin package. because goblins shit on XYZ really hard. They're very good against XYZ. And when everyone is playing XYZ, because it's a goddamn XY event, goblins are everywhere. Also, goblins fit under the mechanics, or the rules of the event. Meaning, they're very powerful, and they're omnipresent. And I'm so sick and tired of seeing these everywhere. I am not a fan of goblins. I find them very boring, because in theory, they're pretty cool. In practice, they're very boring. Anyway, it's fine. We're just going to use the Sulfador to send a Smiter to the graveyard. That's the whole purpose of it. They're going to walk in, deal a bunch of damage, and pass the turn. That's A-okay. I'm A-okay here. They also got rid of one of their materials here with Utopic, which is pretty nice. We're going to normal summon the Tristaros, which is, could punish them if they elect to negate. They elect to negate my Smiter effect, and I'm going to meet them with Tristaros, which will be my Vibrator. And I'm like, oh. Okay, anyway, Sulfador effects. Sulfador is going to special summon itself, and then dump 2. We dump the Thistfern as well as the Sulfonier. I grab Rosenix. This is just a mistake. I should have grabbed something else, but it's fine. We're going to go for the Sulfonier here in order to grab the Citri here, and then we're going to go in order to reborn our Tristaros. Here's the thing. What I should have done is, instead of grabbing Rosenix, I should have grabbed a level 3 monster, like a Thistfern or a or a Smiter, so that I had the ability to use Citri's effect in order to move everything sideways. That's all. I can just use Cluster here, putting back an Inclusion in order to pop the card. Realistically, should have put back a Smiter or a Thistfern. Those are definitely going to come up more than the Inclusion. It's fine, though. They're going to go combat, they're going to walk over the Sulfador, and pass the turn. Okay, yeah, I didn't really have anything here. I literally can't out this guy, so there's that. I'll just add Impulse, I guess. I'll Banish to grab a token here, so that I can go Sulfador to pop. We're going to go Sulfador effect. They allow it again. I'll go for the Smiter here in order to grab up the Inclusion. We're going to activate the Inclusion here. We're going to grab up the Parasortal. We're going to dump the Parasortal here in order to special summon this guy in order to pop the Inclusion. Inclusion effect is going to activate. We're going to reborn our Thistfern, and then we're going to go for the Tristaros to pop the Amatrix here, and then summon 2 in order to go into Armory Arm. Why the fuck are we going Armory Arm? Oh, Vespinato, equipped with Armory Arm, is bigger than this guy. So there's that. I'm going to add a Tristaros here, and then special summon it with Parasortal, so that I can special summon it in defense, specifically so that I do not have the ability, or have to, like, put it in an attack position and have them just, like, walk over it and deal a shit ton of damage. So I'm feeling pretty good here, right? This game goes on for like 10 more turns. Actually, I'm lying to you. It goes on for 15 more turns. This game's really good. I summon the Parasortal here and go into Quandrax just to see if they bite. They don't. I don't have anything. I should constantly be activating Cluster here, and I'm not, and this is a mistake. It doesn't matter, but it's kind of a mistake. We're going to pop the Quarion here, and we're going to summon the Sulfador and the Citri. We're then going to also special summon off of the Quarion the Tristaros, and then I'm going to send 2 and set this Imperm that I drew. We're also going to deal 5 here. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Cool. Ah, Grand Entrance. Well, crap. Anyway, they elect to go for the Boom here, and I'm going to go Impulse that, obviously. And then I'm stupid. And they can they get up. That's not a once per turn. If it hits the field, it's a once per turn, but it's that's my bad. It's fine. Out comes Gabonga. They're gonna activate the effect to add a card, and I'm like, that's not allowed. Then they're gonna activate the effect Engrave to add a card as well by detaching the material, and I go, that's not allowed. And then out comes Dungeon. Yeah, you forgot this was Mimighoul, huh? You forgot this was Mimighoul. Don't worry, we all forgot. Out comes Throne, or out comes Giant, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm gonna not allow that. However, that's gonna be a pain later, and you'll see why. You'll see why. We grab Inclusion. I'm gonna pop here. We're gonna shuffle back a guy just to pop 2. We're gonna go Inclusion. Inclusion is gonna grab Smiter, and then we're gonna XYZ summon into Paradise Smasher. Now, if you don't know what Paradise Smasher says, it says once per turn during your main phase 1, you can detach 2 materials from this. Each player rolls a 6-sided die. The player with the highest total cannot activate monster effects or declare an attack until the end of the next turn. Whoa, crazy. but I can't activate it here. I wish I could tell you why I can't activate it here, but I can't. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to deal 15 and then just pass the turn. Huh. I may just be stupid. That's probably the case. Anyway, I draw Quan, but that's fine. I'm just going to shuffle a guy back with the cluster. Here we go for the Smiger. Smiger is then going to go, or sorry, be pitched off of the Sulfonier. We're going to summon out the Citri. Mostly this is just to grab Citri. We're going to grab Inclusion here. We're going to activate the effect of the Sulfador. We're going to special summon out off of the, by popping the Inclusion. And at this point, my goal is draw Imperm or Droplet, which I do play. And I've seen one of each. So, there are 4 cards out of 10 that I could draw now. As you can see, there's 10 cards. There are 4 out of 10 cards that I could draw that do allow me to play this game. However, they activate Maker, which is very scary, because had they hit correctly, and had I been given Dragon, and they been given Archfiend, that would have been very bad for me. I wouldn't have lost, but it would have been very bad. So, good thing they didn't. Instead, they grabbed Dragon. Dragon's going to grab Room. They're going to go to combat. I'm going to go with Citri. Citri summon the Thisfern, go into the Amatrix. Amatrix is going to switch everything sideways, and then they're going to pass the turn. However, the Room does deal with, most notably, our Vespinato, which sucks ass. Anyway, Room effect is going to activate. They're going to go for the Dragon. They're then going to book the Vespinato. I don't know why we didn't special, or like flip up the Dragon. I don't know if we can. I think I'm lying to you. Anyway, that's fine, because we tribute over, we drew Sulfador, tribute over, or dump 2, sorry. First we dumped 2. I didn't mean to dump Citri. That's a bad misplay on my part. It's fine. Anyway, tribute over the Dragon, use the 2 in order to go into the Mech Beast, which is hilarious, because all it does is pops a card in the field. Now, what are we popping? That's right, the Archfiend. I'm going to flip a guy up and then just special summon Citri here, and, we're going to pop my own guy to shuffle back a Thisfern and go to combat and deal an additional 5. Did I say Thisfern? I meant Amatrix. It's fine. I still need to shuffle another guy back in order to give me access to Thisfern and then have the ability to put that guy in grave. So, yeah, I couldn't have gone for an Amatrix there. Oops, my bad. I'm going to pop my own Amatrix here. I don't know why I'm not constantly targeting the Utopic here, because it wouldn't be destroyed, but it's fine. I draw Impulse. This is a really good game. I'm going to pop my own guy once again. We're going to shuffle back to Parasaur. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm shuffling back guys that don't matter. I make Catastor here just to put a guy in grave. I did it just to put the Smiger in grave for the Citri so that we can use the Amatrix on the following. They're going to attempt to go to combat. I'm going to be like, nuh-uh. And make Amatrix. Amatrix effect. And then, of course, we're going to activate the cluster. We're going to shuffle back the Citri and just cycle those resources. We got 9 cards left, and god damn it. I swear it doesn't put it on top. I promise it doesn't put it on top. It's fine. We're going to shuffle back the guy, and we're just going to pass the turn. What are they possibly going to do? Hopefully they have nothing. I really just hope that they don't. I know they've used up all 3 Archfiends. I know that they've used up their Draco future. I don't know what else they possibly have, but... Wait, that's the card! That's the card I need! Okay, so I click some buttons here. This is all that I'm doing. I'm just clicking buttons at this point. I'm just putting guys on field. Doesn't matter. I have the Imperm. The Imperm is the important part. I have the ability to not immediately lose the game. I activate the Imperm during the end phase because they set in the same column as the Imperm, and I go, no, I'm not going to lose to your stupid-ass Imperm. It's fine. I'm going to pop a card. I'm going to pop their stupid Utopic Draco that couldn't be destroyed by battle nor card effect, and now we finally have the ability to go to combat and to deal with this stupid game. Holy crap, we're out of there. What a fun game. Alright, now here we are going first, and let's see what we can... We drew a dead hand that doesn't do anything. It's normal Tristaros and Prey. We do have Tristaros and Impulse. We have very good follow-up. It's fine. They're going to normal summon Jet and then immediately go to... Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. They're going to activate the starter. I'm absolutely impulsing that. Hell no, you're not getting that. That's, like, also the only thing we can really impulse outside of, I don't know, what's this bucket? Gigantic? What? Huh? Huh? Well, I'm going to normal summon the Quan here and just pass the turn. Quan isn't exactly great here, but we do have the ability to use SnowiKs here off of the Quan, which gets met by Imperm. Of course, it's Imperm. What else would they be breaking on? I don't know. Look, it was my best option, realistically, here. I could have normal summoned a Tristaros, but, like, they literally would have just done the same thing where they just walk over the Tristaros. So, Quan at least gives us something, right? Smile. It's fine. Look, I could have been drawing a little bit better here, but why are they electing to call? Oh, because Droplet. Well, yeah, that does do. They've also bricked like 3 turns in a row, which is kind of crazy. I'm gonna activate the SnowiKs here to banish. Hey, I just need you to whiff one more time. Well, there's no Link monsters, so it's not like that Fua loss is going to do anything, except for get over the token, so, I'll take it. Impulse! Okay, combat, Look, we're not dead, unless they draw blue. What's the likelihood they draw blue here, right? Wait, they didn't? Wait, that was a joke. Wait, they didn't? No blue? No blue? Wait, that's crazy! Okay, inclusion! Oh, okay. I just need this last card to not be Ash. It's not Ash. Fantastic. We can deal with the Sulfonier. Sulfonier effect is going to special summon it. Oh my gosh, we're off to the races. Hip hip hooray. We're going to go into the Amatrix here. We're going to activate the effect of our Smiger in order to grab up the Cluster. This is all just to grab Cluster. Cluster now wins us the game. Hip hip hooray. They're going to go for the Smasher here. I was right. There was a Smasher. I never said that to you. That's fine. Anyway, we set the Cluster, and at this point, the game is over. It's locked up. I don't know if there's a world. Yeah, get him out of there. I don't know if there's a world in which they could win this. I'm going to pop my own inclusion because I did not read Cluster correctly. This does, in fact, say face-up cards, not any card. My bad. I draw Impact, which is fine because we can just pitch it for Sulfonier. This is why Sulfonier is crazy. So we're going to activate the Sulfonier to grab Sulfador. Sulfador is going to be met by Imperm, except for the fact that I'm going to cluster it. Okay, that's fine. Sulfador does get negated, but that's fine, because we're going to special summon out a guy here. We're going to special summon out the Tristaros, and just dome him for a bit of damage. Again, this game is over. We now have Cluster. That is the whole point. It's a recursive interaction, which is crazy. They set a card? Sure. That's fine. Can't really do anything about that. We draw a Sulfonier, which technically doesn't do anything, but that's okay, because we can activate the Sulfador, special summon, activate the effect, dump 2 guys. Fistfern is going to activate. We're going to grab up a guy. We're going to grab SnowiKs. I don't know. It's a guy. This is mostly just to grab Sulfonier, and at this point, the opponent concedes. Dear Lanta, what is with these games? Alright, here we are once again going first. And this hand looks a little better, but not a lot of better. Oh, hello. Anyway, we do have Ash and Droplet, so there's that. We're going to go for the Sulfador, which doesn't get negated. Hip hip hooray. Activate the Thistfern effect. We're going to grab up the Sulfonier, and then activate the Sulfonier effect in order to pitch a guy, and then special summon and pop itself. Activate the effect of the Sulfonier, special summoning the Tristaros, and now we can go for the Smiger to grab up Cluster. That's it. That's the whole plan. My game plan is no thoughts, head empty, just Cluster. Anyway, they're going to go for the Sacred Tree, to the which I will promptly Ash that, to the which they will normal summon Camellia and just send another Sacred Tree, and then just do the effect again to grab a... Yep, yeah, no, that is how that works. Anyway, this is the Loner deck, if you don't know. So out comes the Vernisylphs. They're going to then activate they're going to go into Beast. I do not care about Beast. Everything that I have does not give a crap about Beast, so that's fine. At least they don't have Barkion. Out comes Rose Whip. If you don't know, Rose Whip is a card that shouldn't exist. That's all. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. They activate an effect, to which I will promptly go for the Tristaros, to which they will special summon a guy. Yeah, okay. I think that they think that I can go into Quarion. I can't. Quarion's not real. He just doesn't exist. I'm going to go for the Amatrix here. We're going to activate the effect of the Amatrix, and they're also going to reborn the Mold Cricket off of the effect of their previous Vernisylph. Which is what I changed to. They're going to send with Camellia, and I'm going to just put everything sideways. Not send. Special. Now they're going to Synchro Summon into Merry Melfies, which is a card that does exist. But because they're going to attempt to put my card back, and that's the card that I need in order to get 2 pops off of the effect of Cluster, I'm going to use the effect in order to pop 2 cards. We're going to shuffle back a Tristaros, and then just pop them And away goes my Amatrix. Oh no. They're going to send another card in order to go into the goal gub and just pass the turn, setting a card. Now this almost screams Imperm to me, but it also could just be anything here. Anyway, we're going to go for the Smiger to grab up Inclusion. Inclusion effect is going to activate. We're going to add up the Fistburn, and we are going to pitch the Fistburn off of the Sulfonier. Sulfonier is going to special summon itself and pop itself, and then we are going to activate the effect, to which my opponent will go for the Camellia to grab up the card that doesn't do anything here, but it's fine. It's fine. Out comes the Citry. We're going to grab the Sulfador. Sulfador is going to pop, and then we're going to go Sulfador and dump the 2 traps, and then we're going to go Cluster, specifically popping the Beetle here. Reason for the Stink Bug. The reason for this is because it negates and ends the battle phase, so I don't want to deal with that. That's fine. We're going to special summon out the Tristaros here, and at this point we could just go to combat, walk over the field, and have Cluster as recursion the entire time. So my opponent disconnects. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck was more fun to play than any of those stupid XZ decks that I was playing previously. This is genuinely one of the reasons that I don't enjoy this event. Basically, there's not a whole lot to play, and any sort of creativity is stifled by the fact that so many cards are just not playable. A lot of it is due to the fact that a lot of the higher level monsters, more specifically, level 6 is where a lot of cutoffs are, so you're kind of heavily restricted into just playing XZs, and I think had XZs also been banned, just in general, because they're not level monsters, right? Had they been banned, I think this event would have been a lot more interesting, and would have forced out a lot more creativity, but because they're not banned, it's just XZ event. It's just an XZ event, right? You're making new topics, you're playing rank 3 turbo, or Lyralisks with like rank 1 turbo or something else of that nature, and it's very boring, which is why I want to play like specifically a synchro deck. There's not a whole lot that you can do with those synchros, but at the very least it is different, and it doesn't lose to goblins, which genuinely was a problem earlier. But overall, like, I don't know, this event's just really boring. It's really boring. That's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.